Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Very happy Easter to you all. Those of you who celebrate Easter, may not be everybody, but here in the UK it's a bank holiday weekend, a long weekend. Most of us had Good Friday off, and tomorrow Monday off, so a lovely weekend. The weather's been great. It's also Passover, so for those of you perhaps who are celebrating Passover, I wish you well and hope you've enjoyed that family celebration, or even if you're just seeing family and friends this weekend. It's been so nice, hasn't it, to be able to travel freely and to see people we haven't spent time with a lot in the last couple of years, and in beautiful weather, seeing the spring animals and flowers. It's good just to appreciate those things. So I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are. I was lucky enough to have last week off and do a little bit of travelling, go down to the West Country that I love very much, and had a wonderful time. I took with me and more or less finished off the set you see in front of you by Dr. Barbara Sturm, and I thought I'd just talk about this set, these products really, in a little bit more detail. I think I did a video when I got this set, which was kind of their trial sizes, and it was quite a while ago, and because I haven't been travelling as much, I haven't really used the set as consistently as I intended to form an opinion and come back and tell you what I thought, but I definitely have my thoughts now. For those of you who haven't come across these skincare products, they're German, all manufactured in Germany from what I can see. Dr. Barbara Sturm is, I think, a qualified dermatologist who has obviously a lucrative private practice and manufactures now a very large range of skincare products for both women and children from what I can see. And they're kind of culty products, perhaps more fashionable a couple of years ago. Lots of film stars talked about them, actresses, models, and so on and so forth. It's a fiendishly expensive range, to be honest, and therefore, even these trial sizes, fiendishly expensive. I think this set, which includes these 6 products and a lip balm that I've managed to lose or misplace, and a little toiletry bag. I can't exactly remember, but I think it was about £150. So, crazy money actually. Are these products worth it? In a nutshell, no, they're not. I will whiz through quite quickly the products all except one, because the star product that you probably see most reviews for on YouTube and so forth is this serum, the hyaluronic serum, and that is easily the standout of these products. And if it were a cheaper product, definitely would be worth it. It might be worth it for you if money is no object, because it is a really good serum in my opinion. Pretty much everything else that I've had the opportunity now to try, I wouldn't remotely put in that category. Now I would say the calming serum isn't bad, but certainly not good enough for the price. The other products, nothing special, to be honest. I've got an enzyme cleanser. They talk about this as being a foaming cleanser when water is added to the powder. I found it didn't really foam. It was a slightly gritty coloured water, like a lot of granular powder exfoliants. It's perfectly gentle. It wasn't irritating, but I didn't feel it made any great difference to my skin, and I prefer an AHA exfoliant rather than a powder, a granule exfoliant. I would say then that kind of left a gap in this particular kit. I haven't actually looked up whether she does any cleansing balm or foam or milk. I don't think she does, and so I had to kind of import in another cleanser that was one that I could use every day into this regime, which was a shame. If you're kind of wanting to see a regime working together, there is a balancing toner, nothing extraordinary. I'm not convinced, by the way, that we particularly need toners, or certainly not very expensive ones. And there was nothing outstanding about this. If you've seen some of my previous skincare videos, you'll know I quite like using a micellar water instead of a toner. I'm not sure it has the same effect on your pH balance, but there we go. Or I quite like the Liz Earle toner, which is very reasonably priced, smells nice, and is definitely very gentle on the skin and leaves the skin feeling nice. I had two face creams, the rich version and the ordinary version. In fact, I had 2 tubes, each of those, from another offer. So I have used those quite a bit. They're nice, unscented, unirritating, gentle moisturisers that absorb pretty well. The rich one was nice for my skin, which is a bit dehydrated these days if I'm not careful. But again, nothing outstanding for the very elevated price point. The calming serum gets some good crits on YouTube, even from people who suffer from, difficult conditions like rosacea. I've seen. I didn't feel it made any difference to the definite kind of redness that I get around my T-zone and on my cheeks after cleansing these days, as I'm older. Didn't make any appreciable difference, although it felt fine, it absorbed fine, and it certainly wasn't irritating. It was no miracle product. The best product by a long score is the hyaluronic serum, and I would unhesitatingly recommend it if it weren't so pricey. This 10ml bottle, is it? Yeah, 10ml would be £85, and that's the kind of trial size. 10ml, isn't going to last you if you were not using it very sparingly. Well, more than a month, to be honest. And I think their jumbo bottle of this comes in at something like £700. I mean, ridiculous price. Now, you'll know that hyaluronic acid is the kind of wonder moisturising product. I didn't realise until doing a little bit of research that it doesn't work equally well on all skins in all conditions. So I've now read and heard that whilst it generally absorbs well and moisturises oily skin very effectively, if you have dry skin and you apply it in a dry atmosphere, it can react to leach the moisture from your skin instead of absorbing the moisture into your skin, because it's a humectant. So it helps your skin absorb moisture from the atmosphere. So you really need to apply it in a damp, humid environment, either climatically or, in the bathroom after a shower, in the bath, for it to work at its most effective, or rather, not actually do the opposite of what it's supposed to do. So that's a good tip to bear in mind, particularly if you're using liquid gold version of it, like the Dr. Barbara Sturm. Now, the second thing is that there's a huge variation in the price range for hyaluronic products. You'll see it mentioned as a kind of miracle ingredient in serums, in creams, in all sorts of different formulations. And the key is, how well it's actually going to absorb on the skin. Now, I had been using at the same time as trying this, the kind of opposite end of the price range, which is the Ordinary's hyaluronic 2% plus B5, which couldn't be a greater contrast in terms of price. you can get 30ml of that, so 3 times the size of what we're looking at here for £6.95. Now, when you look at the ingredient list of the two, that's the serum as well, the ordinary, and there are obviously, you know, lots of different ones in different price points in between. Skin Ceuticals I have used in the past and quite liked that. It's not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than Dr. Barbara Sturm's. When I compared the ingredients list of this one, the Storm one, which performs for me much, much better than the ordinary. The ordinary leaves a kind of sticky, tacky residue on the skin, and my skin definitely, after it had absorbed, didn't look or feel as hydrated as it does after using the Dr. Barbara Sturm one. So there was a marked difference in the efficacy of the two products, but probably not enough to justify the huge price differential. That's the key, really. Interesting, I don't know what the reason is fully, because I'm not enough of a scientist. What is noticeable when you look up the ingredients, the Dr. Barbara Sturm one has a mere 7 ingredients, and that includes water, so 6 active, potentially, ingredients. And generally, I tend to the view that the fewer the ingredients, the better. The ordinary, which is supposed to be a relatively clean range by comparison, had, I think, something like 20 ingredients, including water, a lot more, and they included citric acid, which is often an irritant and certainly can be drying, and glycerin, which I don't particularly like and can find irritating. So that was an interesting difference between the two. The more complex ingredients, I wouldn't be terribly qualified to comment on, but all I can say is that the Barbara Sturm one, it's a beautiful serum, and your skin looks and feels good after using it almost immediately, and certainly afterwards. But at that price point, there are very few of us who can afford to be using that regularly. I'm looking forward to trying a Korean product by Isntree, which I hope will be waiting for me when I get home, which is a hyaluronic, I think they call it a water essence, but essentially a sort of serum, which is not as cheap as the ordinary, but definitely more within my price range than Dr. Barbara Sturm, and I've seen that getting some good reviews, primarily from Asia. It can be a bit more difficult to get hold of Korean products, although much easier nowadays than it used to be. So look out for my thoughts on that if and when I get it and have a chance to use it. But I hope you find today's little diatribe interesting. I'm always conscious that I can show you these products, but sometimes it takes a while to tell you what I actually think about them, having had a concentrated use of them. And whilst I was grateful for being able to try these products as a series, it's always interesting, isn't it, when you read these rave reviews that they achieve these miracles. They didn't achieve miracles for me, and I wouldn't be repurchasing unless I see a great offer on the hyaluronic serum. So there are my thoughts. Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely weekend. Keep safe and well, and until next time, bye for now.